Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today on why my child won't sleep through the night. I'm going to talk about three main causes that I see most commonly on why children are not sleeping through the night. But before I do that, I want to preference that this is really for 6-month-olds and older. 0 to 3-month-olds, they're newborns and they're expected to eat during the night. Developmentally, they're just not ready. Now, that's not to say that a 10-week-old can't sleep through the night, but it's not the norm. So if your child is in that age, you can still watch this and this will help you get ready for as they get older. For 4 and 5-month-olds, they still might need one feeding in that time. Plenty of 4 and 5-month-olds can sleep through the night, but it's really up to you and your pediatrician looking at the weight and the growth curve to make sure that, it's appropriate and they're healthy and they're ready to do this. Most pediatricians will say, 6 months, the baby is ready, because at that point, most of them are, big enough that they can make it that long throughout the night. So why won't they sleep through the night? Maybe they've done it once, maybe they've never done it, but you want them to do it all the time. The number one reason that I see showing up is because the child doesn't quite have independent sleep skills yet, where maybe they fall asleep for sometimes on their own for naps or bedtime, but not always. And that inconsistency causes some confusion and some wake ups in the night. So what I mean by that is we want our children to be laying down awake so that they can fall asleep on their own. If they are using you or any other things to fall asleep in the first place, then they're likely going to wake up and look for those same things in the middle of the night. So those things could be like being rocked or snuggled or fed, or if they're in a swing. All of those things are helping them to fall asleep in the first place. We all go through these sleep cycles throughout the night, and your child is connecting sleep cycles at some point. A sleep cycle for a baby is about 40 minutes. And so if they've ever gone longer than 40 minutes without waking, they've connected a sleep cycle. The problem is that they're just not connecting all of the sleep cycles. So when they transition from one sleep cycle to the next, it's a really late stage of sleep. And if at that point there's noise, there's light, or anything's out of sorts, they're going to have a full wake up. And for them, being out of sorts would be like they were snuggling dad, or mom was feeding them a bottle, or they were in the swing and the swing has stopped and now they're in a crib. All of those things have changed. And so it's going to cause them to wake up, a full wake up, and cry and try to get those same conditions back there so they can fall asleep again. So really on that one, you're looking to try to lay them down awake so they fall asleep on their own, and then they can translate that skill throughout the night. Another reason that I see children not sleeping through the night is because there's some schedule tweaking that needs to happen. There's either overtiredness or undertiredness going on. So let's start with undertired. Undertired would mean that bedtime was way too early and they just weren't ready, and so they're having trouble falling asleep, or maybe they fall asleep right away and that they're having wake-ups. It could be also that their naps are too much during the day. So too many naps, too long a naps, and the sleep pressure isn't built up for them to sleep through the night because they're getting so much sleep during the day. They're like, in the middle of the night, I'm awake because I've had such great sleep all day long. So that's a simple fix on looking at your child's age, finding the sweet spot for wake windows and how much is appropriate for them to sleep during the night, as well as bedtime. Overtiredness means that they're exhausted. Brain is on overdrive, cortisol is kicking in, and it's interfering with the melatonin production. And so in this case, you see a child having a hard time falling asleep and staying asleep. With this, I would say move bedtime earlier, and depending if they're napping or not anymore, you might want to try to work with more naps or shorter wake windows so they can have longer naps to cut the edge off when it is time for bedtime. It's this whole balance of finding the sweet spot for what works perfectly to build up that sleep pressure to sleep through the night. And finally would be more medical, this third cause. And if you're noticing any mouth breathing or snoring when your child's sleeping, it could be because there's a partially obstructed airway there. A lot of times we see more sleepwalking and night terrors and nightmares when this is going on as well. And this would be something that you talk to your pediatrician about so that they could take a look, scope it, and kind of see what's going on. A lot of times that will mean that, there's swollen adenoids or tonsils, or just that there's a narrow passageway. And so they're not getting the full oxygen amount that they need during the sleep, which disrupts their sleep cycles again and causes more wake-ups. So for that one, definitely check with your pediatrician on seeing what the next steps would be. Again, these are the 3 most common reasons I see for your child not to sleep through the night. If you have questions about this or your child sleeping through the night, please add them in the comments below or set up a sleep evaluation call so we can talk a little more in depth one-on-one. Thank you.